Hello, folks. I was watching an interview with Peter Turchin, who is a Russian American political scientist, I guess, an academic. And he said a very interesting thing, which reminded me of something which confused me when I was a wee laddie of 18 or 19. So let's hear what it is that he said. Go, Peter.
And so
You're the threat. You're the threat, Peter.
well, we can talk about that, the overproduction of PhDs, for example. But what I want to say is that I have taught, just retired a year ago, I've taught at a very good research university in the United States. But in my estimation, at most 15% of my students really care about education. The rest of them are in there for credentials.
Now, 15% of his students really care about education. That's in his long experience as an academic. Only 15%, 1-5. Now, that's very low. 85% of his students appear, in his experience, in his view, not to really care much about actual education in university. Now, unfortunately, that ties in with my own experience. When I was 18, just shy of 19, I went down to university in Glasgow. And I went to Glasgow, what is now called Glasgow Caledonian University. And at that time, it was still a polytechnic, and it was one of those places that was changed into a university in the 90s. And it was a good place. I'm not knocking Glasgow Caledonian University, but in a sociology class there, what happened, and this really struck me, when we were having a sociology class with the guy who was actually the head of the department by chance, Walsh, I think his name was, Professor Walsh. And it was 5 to 5, right? It was 4:45, 5 minutes left in the class, which ended at 5 p.m. And then I asked some slightly difficult question. I don't remember what it was about. Some element of sociological theory, like, what's the difference between Weber and Durkheim or something like this. And the woman to my left turned to me to look at me, like, so the teacher couldn't see her. And the look on her face was meaning, don't ask any difficult questions that is going to take the class a couple of minutes past 5 p.m. when we're supposed to finish and leave. And I was genuinely surprised at this. I was 19 at the time. This was like first or second year, or whatever. I can't remember what it was. I think it was second year, so I would have been 20 maybe. And I was thinking to myself, this is not primary school when we're trying to get out on the bell to run out to the playground and play on the swings. This is university, that we're here to learn things and to show genuine interest in these kind of things that we're supposed to be studying. Right? And her attitude, again, it just happened to be a female. I'm not attacking the female students there either. Just happened to be a very smart lady, actually. So it was even more surprising that her attitude was, don't ask any difficult questions. And then, now, some people could say, well, what do you expect? That was only a middle-ranking university in Glasgow. And most of the people in it were working-class Glaswegians or lower middle-class Glaswegians. And 90% of the people there were from the Glasgow area, all right? I mean, the greater Glasgow area. And so some people could be nasty and say, oh, what do you expect? It's hardly a high-level university. Right? I'm not saying that, right? But some people could say it. I think it was a good university. I enjoyed going there. I thought I got a lot out of it. Then later, I went back to Edinburgh because I'm from Edinburgh, and I did a master's degree in Edinburgh University. Now, Edinburgh University is, if you compare these university ranking things, which I'm not keen on at all anyway, but if you look at them, Glasgow Caledonian University is about 700 or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But Edinburgh University is in the top 20 or 30 normally in the world. So you're talking about whatever it is, 5,000-10,000 universities in the world. So it's very high. So I went there and did a postgraduate there. But the same kind of thing happened in Edinburgh University. I was having a drink in the postgraduate student union on it used to be on Buccleuch Street, I think. I think it's gone now. And there was an English guy there. And again, I'm not knocking English people either. It just happened to be a lady the first time and an English guy the second time. And we were chatting in the bar, and he suddenly said, oh, I know you. You're the guy that asks difficult questions in class, he meant, right? And again, I thought this was about 4 years later, 3 years later. And I thought, this is just like that situation in Glasgow that confused me. And this is now postgraduate level at supposedly one of the best universities in the world. And I'm getting a reputation for being someone who asks difficult questions in class. And I was thinking to myself, isn't that what we're here to do? Isn't that what university is about? We're there to ask difficult questions, analyze, learn, and genuinely be interested in what we're learning. Interested, as Professor Peter says there, interested in education. But it was such a rare thing, both there in Glasgow in that supposed medium level university, and in Edinburgh, a supposed very high level one, that people just went along with the flow and didn't really ask so-called difficult questions. And I found that very disappointing. I guess I was naive because I thought I was the first one in my family to go to university. No one else had ever been. And maybe that's partly why I was so naive, because I thought when you went to university, it was going to be full of people who genuinely wanted to learn and discuss things and analyze things and ask difficult questions of each other and the teachers. And to my disappointment, as Peter Turchin is confirming from his own experience in America, there's not all that many people in university who kind of display that kind of attitude. Very disappointing. Now, the question is, why? Well. That's the topic of another video, perhaps, because that in itself is a very, very difficult point.